Hi there, welcome to today's video. I'm Jeanette with Vivo Vintage Designs. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm glad you're here. On this channel, we learn alcohol ink, watercolor, and other creative art projects together. All right, now that that's out of the way, let's get started. Hi friends, in today's video I'm going to show you 5 fun and very easy ways to fill a sketchbook. Sometimes I find that I just can't come up with an idea to fill a page in my sketchbook, so I think that sometimes it's just easier not to think and to just paint. So for this first example, I'm using my Artex acrylic paint markers. I love these things. They paint so smoothly. And it's a nice thin layer, so later on I'm going to go over this with micron pens, and I find that the micron pens work beautifully on this, again because the paint coming from these markers is so, it's not lumpy, it doesn't come out lumpy, it comes out really smooth. So anyway, I filled this sheet with ovals, and I used different colors. Each color I used, I created 2 ovals with. And of course you don't have to create ovals, you can create whatever shape you like and use whatever colors you like. I wanted to make these bright and cheerful so that when I open up these pages and I look at them, it cheers me up. I wanted a happy little painting. And as usual, I'll be linking all the products used in the description box, and I'll also pin them in the comment section to make them easier for you to find. So you can see I've just about finished. There are some white little spaces, so I'm just creating a few ovals to cover up those spaces. I want the entire paper to be covered. I thought I was finished at this point, so I started to remove the tape, and I wasn't so happy with it. So of course, out come the micron pens. And what I started to do was outline all the ovals. And I thought that that would be enough to satisfy me, but of course it wasn't. And you can stop at any point. You don't have to do what I'm doing. But once I was finished outlining all the ovals, I brought out the Posca pens and I created a border. And this set of Posca pens is really great because there are all different types of nibs, or rather sizes of nibs, so it makes doing this much easier. Then I got my gold chrome marker, and I created another border. And I was really starting to like the way this looked. But it still looked to me as though it was missing something. So I got my micron pens, or any fine liner will do, and I started creating vertical lines, my typical sketchy, skippy little lines in some of the ovals. And of course, if you're familiar with my channel, you know that that's not enough for me. So I started to do the same, but horizontally in some of the ovals. And at this point, I was happy with the way it looked. So here's a picture of the finished painting. I really like that. All right, so here's number 2. I took the same acrylic markers and I created these little dots, and then I started to make little lines all around the dots. And I changed colors and I continued to do that. This was very, very soothing. Once they started to meet, I just went around the shape, and you'll see that in just a moment. This reminded me of 70s wallpaper for some reason. But I thought it was really pretty. And this is really simple. So you can see that I finished filling it in. I just went around the shapes, and here's the finished painting. I thought that was really pretty. Okay, here is number 3. So for this one, I just took using my Mei Liang watercolors, and I just created leaves. And I alternated the colors. I just went right down the color palette, or rather the paint palette. And where there was some white space, I just painted in some smaller leaves. And then I removed the tape because I thought I was finished. But as usual, it was not enough. So then I brought out the fine liners and I started to outline some of the leaves. And I thought that that would be enough to satisfy me. But it was not. So I put back my tape and I started creating lines. And what's fun about this is that you don't have to draw a straight line all the way down. Just do lines in between the spaces. They don't have to meet. Nobody's going to look that closely. And here's the finished painting. I was finally happy with it. Okay, this is number 4. I started with my alcohol ink markers and I just created some organic shapes. I used one marker to create 2 different shapes on the paper. And you can use whatever colors you like. I chose to use different shades of gray. This one is really easy, but I love the way that it turned out. I'm still not sure which is my favorite. Let me know in the comments section which one of these 5 examples is your favorite. So once I created my shapes, I took the black alcohol ink marker and I created some stems and added some elongated leaves. And I only did 2, and then in the areas where I thought I needed a little something, I just drew a couple of leaves, and then I drew the center vein to each of the leaves. And it was very simple, but I love the way this looks. I'm thinking this might be my favorite. Or maybe this one. Okay, this is number 5. I started out with some watercolor. I used kind of like a lime green and Payne's gray. And I created the background for my painting. And I wasn't too concerned with the way that it looked. So I just threw in the color there and then I waited for it to completely dry. Once it was dry, I took a white watercolor pencil and I drew some hearts. Then I used my acrylic pens and I just made marks. I call these my fluffy, furry hearts. Try and say that 5 times. Anyway, so I started out with a pale yellow, then I went with a deeper yellow, and you can see that I'm keeping my lines kind of in the shape of the heart. Then after that, I used an orange one and I continued, and I also tried to make little dots into the color that I used prior. And I tried to maintain the shapes of the hearts. After the orange, I went to red. These are all a lot of fun. They're very simple. It's a fun way to fill a sketchbook. It doesn't take a lot of time and it's very relaxing. Then after the red, I went in with the purple. And you can see again that I'm dotting a little bit of that purple onto the red and even further up so that the colors blend nicely. Then I switched to this pretty shade of blue and did the same thing, and I made sure that my little lines kept the shape of the heart. I thought I was finished again, but of course I was not, because they didn't stand out enough to me. So then I came in with the white acrylic marker and I added some white lines over the yellow and then a few dots down the entire heart. Or at least halfway down the heart. I just wanted it to stand out a little bit more, to look puffier. And I liked that. Then I decided to add a little bit of black over the blue, and I think that that was the final and finishing touch. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know which one is your favorite, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.